So should I say OG or should I say seasoned R&B artist Mario? Because I always get that wrong.
It's Mario.
So I want to get it right.
Cool.
Get it right because we actually met a long time ago when I was in DC.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
So you've been doing your thing.
DMV,
Appreciate
baby.
it. So do you want to use the word seasoned or OG? Because I really hate the term OG.
right.
I mean, I think OG is relative, but I much rather like season.
Seasoned.
For sure. Yeah.
So how you been?
I've been great, man.
Welcome
been
to
great.
Smash Radio.
Life is amazing. Thank you.
You know, I have to tell you, man, Let Me Love You is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Yep.
Ever.
Mine's is braid my hair.
Hey.
Come on and braid my hair.
back in my hood, feeling good.
Ooh,
Yes.
you don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, because if I'm
That's
singing about
seasoned
braiding my hair,
right
I
there.
feel uncomfortable.
That's real.
right.
got
It's
Yeah.
funny. We were
Braid
talking
now?
about that yesterday, man.
Hey.
But when I did that record, culturally, braids were like it. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? It was just
definitely.
coming around, but then when I did that, everybody started like.
I said they
wearing
was rocking the
braids.
half braided, half
Average,
fro.
yeah,
See, you don't know
but
nothing
honestly,
about
but
this.
listen. Let's just braids are ancient. They've been around for eons.
Oh yeah,
you know?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing lately? Because now I
Lately?
feel like it's just a reintroduction. Do you
I
feel
mean,
like
I would say it's a reintroduction. Absolutely.
You feel that way?
Because I mean, there's different generation. I mean, it's a reintroduction to people who may not know, like the
Right,
younger audience who may not know
I
like
agree.
the older records, but they know Break Up, or they might know somebody else that I did with Nicki Minaj, but they might not know Braid My Hair. That's if it's a
was
15-year
my
or 16-year-old girl listening to it right now, she might not know that
Because
record.
when
But guess
you got
what?
in was how old were you?
Wherever I go, people know records like Let Me Love You, How Do I Breathe, even kids. Like, it's crazy. When
Well,
I
how
go to
old were you
even at
when
my
Let Me
shows,
Love Me drop? How old were you when that
I
started?
was 19? I just turned 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been in the game for almost 20,
No. I've been in the game for 14.
14.
Yeah.
Well, I'm shit at math, so
It's
it's
all
all good.
You were kind of close.
Yeah, but
Records
them
make perfect.
The records you mentioned, them the type of records that we gonna be listening to for years.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
That's why I'm so
decades.
blessed.
Going nowhere.
That's why I'm
Decades,
so
you know,
blessed.
so that's
man.
why the kids know them because they mamas listen to them.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's on regular rotation.
And they're
Right.
just classic, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that I started so young, you know what I mean, and still being like a young man in this thing right now, it's like I'm blessed because I've gotten a chance to really learn the business, learn the ropes, you know, build a foundation, to still have, you know, to still be financially secure because I've built an amazing foundation. You know, there were artists that came around during my time that aren't here anymore. Well, we don't need to name any names, but just that aren't.
I will.
You know,
Oh.
I'm petty.
so
It's a
to
petty
still
Wednesday.
be able to put out records and to still be able to come up to popular stations and to chop it up, man, it's a blessing.
Yeah, you got your maze before I let go. You got them records. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's how you got to look at it
Nah, it's
because
true.
the record's
It's
going to
true.
last decades.
That's true, man.
Yeah,
And the
definitely.
game was different when I came around, you know. So
But now you're also doing the
Yeah.
more, I would say, the independent route, which
Yeah.
is more the norm now.
Yeah.
You're doing with Empire.
yeah, so I have
Empire.
my own label, which is New Citizen. So
Okay.
I'm signing a lot of producers and writers right now. I haven't signed any artists because that's a different level of responsibility. Me being an artist myself, I'm not in the game of like signing artists and locking them up. But did a distribution deal with Empire. Shout out to Empire Ghazi over there. They're doing a great job, the leading distribution company in America. You know, so yeah, it feels good to be able to be in charge of my own destiny and to be able to put the type of content out that I want to put out, and to creatively, you know, I love the process of doing the videos. If you look at the Let Me Help You video, directed that joint, came up with the concept, everything. I didn't have that freedom when I was with a major label. They controlled how I was viewed by you guys.
Got
And
it.
As I was growing up, I'm like, yo, I want to be more involved in my creative, and somebody had a job for that, and they didn't want to lose their job, so the answer is no. You know what I mean? Now it's like I can have that creative freedom.
So the new joint is called Let Me Help You.
Yeah.
Okay, is
Yep.
this like a part 2 to Let Me Love You?
Nah, and it wasn't done purposely that way. It just happened. It just so happens that the record was written in that way. The concept of the record, the overall approach is the same, because I feel like the conversation is the same. It's not a lot of backgrounds in the record. You listen to Let Me Love You, it's not a lot of backgrounds. If you read the lyrics to the record, it literally looks like a conversation. You read the lyrics to Let Me Love You, it looks like... So the approach was definitely the same, because I wanted to do something that my fans that loved that record was familiar with, but the album introduces a different vibe. So it's kind of like a lead-in.
Are you still living in the DMV area?
I have a place there, but I live in LA and Miami.
You got a place there.
He
Yeah.
got a place
Yeah.
there. He's got
Meaning
a place
like
there.
family members go there, like it's
Is,
like.
is your LA crib secure? Because we understand they're kicking in doors
Man.
in LA right now.
See, I don't know other people's situation, but I'm so private. Like I don't have a lot of parties. I have private parties. Don't get me wrong. I have but I'm not the guy that's gonna be like, yo, party at my crib, everybody come through. Nah, I didn't. Nah, ain't.
How do you feel about today's current state of male R&B? And keep it 100, keep it funky.
Nah, yeah, I think that listen, man, I think everybody wants to make hits and be relevant. You know, I did not approach my album in that way with this project, but I think the current state of R&B sounds like everybody is just. But that the perception of R&B is different today because you ask a 15-year-old girl what's her favorite R&B artist, she might say Bryson Tiller.
Yeah,
but he's
that's
not
what I was gonna ask you
necessarily an
about the
R&B
trap soul.
singer.
Yeah.
He calls it trap soul.
Nah, but that's cool. But I'm saying I like it, but I don't consider that technically R&B.
Right.
But at the same time, "Let Me Love You" wasn't R&B. It wasn't traditional R&B. There's not like super crazy chord expressions in there. If anything, that's a pop record.
Okay, because now this is what's
You
going to
really
get
think
into your longevity in the game.
Yeah.
So I guess you're now going to start to be looked upon as seasoned OG status because you came in at a time in the mid 2000s.
Yeah.
Now it's a whole, like you said, the Bryson Tillers of the world, the
Yeah.
Tory Lanes,
Which I like.
are a little bit more creating their own hybrid lane of R&B.
Right.
But then you still got Chris,
Right.
Usher.
But even Chris, his stuff is hybrid too.
Well, he's morphed into a lot of different things.
Right.
But now, where would you say Mario sits? Because I guess the
Yeah.
question is Mario bringing? I don't want to use the word bringing
R&B?
back. I don't want to say it
Nope.
like that because
I'm not putting
that's
that on
like
my back.
I'm not trying to say we're taking a shot. Yeah. Now, I don't want to say
That's
that.
that's not what I'm doing.
I want to say, do you feel like this project,
Yeah.
to you, feels a little bit more grounded, more traditional R&B? That's a little bit not the sound of today. It's a little bit
I
of
think-
today, but a little bit of a throwback.
Yeah. I think it goes back to the concept of potential, right? And I'm one of those artists. My ear is like very well rounded. All of my biggest records were hybrids.
Half R&B, half hip hop.
That's not, to me, when you say hybrid, it's alternative. It's a mixture of whatever. I wouldn't say, well, the most half R&B, half hip hop records I have was I Need More, one of my most recent ones, and Breakup. But Breakup had the chord changes and it had the conversation of an R&B record. You know,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
a lot of it has to do with the perception of the record and the conversation, and then the sound of it, of course, and then that determines, I guess, the class of where the record is. So
Where do you think your audience sits? Do you think your audience sits on the more older scale?
I was just
or
about to say,
in the
'cause-
middle. Do you think
Both.
do you think a Mario show fits with the Anthony Hamilton, Raheem Devon show we just had, or would Mario still be on the Chris Brown, Bryson show?
Oh, it would 100% be on the Chris Brown Bryson show.
Okay.
Just because of the rare records, but I could also do the other show. So it's just like I'm just a well-rounded artist.
And
like
then you got
can't
people
really
who
put,
grew up with you as
yeah,
well, too.
yeah. So it's like it's a little bit of everything. To be honest with you, it's a little bit of everything. Like
What are
I
you
just came
listening to
back
right now?
from touring overseas, and I had from ages 16 to 28 in the audience. But I guess that's different than the U.S. because you have to choose. In the U.S., they make you choose a box. It's like you have to. Okay, what box are we gonna put you in? That's how classism is created. That's how different stations are created. Like that's how things are created here.
But that's being broken down now. I look at like,
And that's why
it's
I'm
getting broken
excited
down.
about.
Like Chance the Rapper, who
Yeah.
was just here,
Yeah.
brought out Maxwell as a surprise to his mom.
Yeah.
Also, when
heard.
I went to Chance show last year in Chicago, he had John Legend and Alicia Keys on the show with 2 Chainz, Lil Wayne, Young
Yeah.
Thug, Lil Uzi Vert. So this guy, Chance is showing that there is no box.
Right.
When you're bridging gaps like that, I think that's mad cool. I think
No, it's
that's
amazing.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
So
and
so I
but-
think the classism is going away a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you too on that. And to answer your question, what you asked earlier, there's a gift and a curse to be, introduced as a 15-year-old artist and to grow up in the game and to not have in the beginning the creative control. But now with this project, I'm showing people who I really am in terms of not having to be put in a box. I had to like grow out of that kind of R&B-ish And that's like kind of what this project is going to do for me, I feel.
Who's still some people you want to work with right now? Now that you have control.
Kendrick, to be honest with you, Kendrick, Ye, Chance. I love Chance. This album is definitely, I have records on there that are definitely more conscious records. It's not so much about love than it is about self and finding yourself and my perception of certain things when it comes to the world. Like, there's a lot of different concepts on the record. It's not just R&B. So those are the type of artists that I want to work with, because I feel like that's how you bridge the gap in audience. That's how you bridge the gap in who listens to your records. You know, the type of people. You know, if my records were, you know, paralleling what my lifestyle is, then you would be hearing records that talked about more universal thoughts. You would be hearing records that talked about things that, you know, had to do with being conscious of yourself, being conscious of who you are spiritually, being conscious of your roots, being conscious of what's happening in the world. It's like when Marvin Gaye told Motown, like, look, I'm tired of making these poppy records. I'm about to go and make what's going on.
I
I'm
think
about
that's
to go and
good
make,
because I think a lot of people are growing with you on that level. Like, that's popping now. Not saying it is a trend, but I think people are becoming more awakened.
I think you got to do what's...
I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I pray. I think you got to do what's real to you, man. And whoever... These days, you don't have to wait for a label or a radio. Don't get me wrong, radio is still important to give you an audience. You can make the music you want, and the people who like that type of music will gravitate towards it. And that's like kind of the perception I'm going after with making this project.